Welcome. I'm Sonia. This series grew out of questions that have been coming up again and again in my wisdom card circle, especially the questions about disconnecting from people who feel toxic, including family. In this video, I want to speak about one very specific situation to explain when estrangement is not only justified but necessary. And that is when there is ongoing abuse or a credible threat. Before anything else, I want to say this clearly and without conditions. If you are in a situation where there is physical abuse or SA, emotional violence, coercion, or ongoing threat, your safety becomes first. Always. Nothing in family constellation work asks you to stay where life is endangered. Nothing in systemic thinking requires you to tolerate harm. And nothing in this video is about forgiveness, reconciliation, or maintaining contact. I would like to name the reality without minimizing it. Sometimes people hesitate to name what they are living with. They wonder, is this bad enough? Am I overreacting? Should I be more understanding? And from a systemic perspective, ongoing abuse is not a misunderstanding. It is not a relationship problem, and it is not something the child needs to resolve. Ongoing abuse means the nervous system cannot settle. The body remains in defense and life cannot flow freely. In these situations, distance is not rejection. It is a life-preserving response. I would like to take a systemic view on abuse. Family constellation work is sometimes misunderstood as asking people to endure. That is not true. Systemic intelligence is oriented towards life. And where life is threatened, the system supports separation. And there's a difference between separation and disconnection. Abuse breaks the natural order. It places the child or the vulnerable person in an impossible position. And no amount of understanding can correct that from what I'm going to talk about next. I want to talk about the wisdom card, which lines up with agreement to life. This is the card I want to bring into this conversation. Agreement to life. Agreement to life does not mean agreeing to what happened. It does not mean accepting abuse. It does not mean staying connected. Agreement to life means I choose what allows life to continue in me. Sometimes the most profound agreement to life is to step away, to say, I will not place my body, my psyche, or my spirit where they are harmed. From a systemic perspective, this is not disloyal. It is not selfish and it is not wrong. It is a movement towards life. And with this, I want to address spiritual bypassing directly. I want to name something really important here. Sometimes people hear ideas like acceptance, honoring parents, or systemic order, and they feel pressure to override their own survival instincts. That is not wisdom. That is bypassing. Systemic work does not ask us or ask you to rise above abuse. It asks you to stay with life. And it asks you to stay with the sacredness of life. And when abuse is ongoing, that sacredness is not upheld. And this is when life often requires distance. So what does estrangement look like systemically in this case? In cases of ongoing abuse or credible threat, estrangement can be a clean systemic movement. Internally, it may sound like this. I step away so that life can continue in me. What you do is yours. I do not need to carry it for you. I choose life. I want to add, in all its sacredness. No explanation is required. No justification is needed. And no reconciliation is expected. The system recognizes this movement. So when is estrangement a good or justified choice? When there is ongoing abuse, when there is credible threat, when staying could mean betraying life. From a systemic perspective, choosing safety is choosing life. And choosing life is always, always in right order. Which brings me to the systemic card of agreement to life. If you are in this place, please know nothing is wrong with you. Your system is responding wisely. Take what resonates, leave the rest, and trust the part of you that knows how to survive. So if you want to continue on this journey and want to learn more about this specific topic, click on the subscribe, like, click on the bell so that you don't miss out on any of the future conversations that I am going to put forward in this series. I look forward to seeing you again. Be safe until then.